What's up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster, of course, in Westwood. So, this episode is going to be primarily doing some final touches on the River Rapids rides, Raging River, or whatever name we're going to come up with. For right now, it's Raging River, but it might change in the future. What I wanted to first do is actually change the queue line just a little bit, make it a little bit longer, and actually use the one meter, I think it is, or however many it is, I don't know, but to make it as skinny as possible and make it just a tad bit longer. And my plan is to actually have this all covered up with kind of like this awesome rustic little building, which will actually look really cool and provide cover for the actual queue line itself. So that's going to be cool. Now, another thing I had issues with in the last episode was trying to get the exit pathway connected over, getting it to the other side and stuff like that, and I actually found out a really good way to get that done, and it actually turns out really neat. So I can't wait to show you how that actually turns out. It turned out a lot better than what I thought it would be, and that's actually a really good thing. So that's really cool. So this roof actually turned out kind of unique and actually really cool as well, and I thought it was actually a nice little touch for the queue line to be covered with. Now, as for the little cave and stuff like that, just keep in mind that everything you see at the end of the video and stuff like that, if I move on to other things, that doesn't mean that it's final. There could be more props and stuff added to this. So and later in the video I actually do get into a couple of triggers and stuff like that for the River Rapids ride, and it's actually going to be really kind of cool. So I started placing all these rocks above on top of these the terrain here and stuff, but that was before I knew I was gonna actually put the exit pathway over here, so I actually had to delete a couple of them to make way for the exit pathway, because it's actually gonna go up and over on the top of that part, and it's actually gonna be kind of neat. It actually turned out better than I thought it would, and that's a good thing. I'm very happy that it actually turned out quite nice, and that's kind of a cool thing. So again, this is a kind of a detailing kind of episode where we kind of try to get some props in, some natural or some nice naturey stuff and stuff like that, like the rocks and plants and stuff like that everywhere around, and also some triggers throughout the ride, which will also be quite nice as well. Now, inside this part, I wanted to make it a little bit more detailed in the future, but I don't get too detailed in this episode, so that's going to be something that's going to be added on in the future later down the road. But we'll see. Now, I had some thoughts about adding a roller coaster in this section, or this area, and a lot of people thought an aero coaster would fit quite nicely. I actually did a little bit of testing in the area that is there, and I'm thinking about it, but I'm not sure how well it's going to fit. If it does, it's going to have a lot of path interaction. It's not actually going to be on the outside. It's actually going to be on the inside of the pathway, which will be kind of a unique and kind of cool. Well, not really unique, but I mean, kind of a neat little section right there. And it's not something I was planned out, so I'm kind of thinking maybe, I might add it, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I think it would look quite nice, but as for a theme and storyline, that's something that has not been thought of, so that's something that we'll have to figure out later on. But most likely in the next episode, if I do decide to do that coaster, it would probably be in the next episode. It'll be kind of a general, nice little aero coaster is all it's going to be. So, yeah. So, in the inside of the station here, I wanted to make sure it was had some nice little themed areas, or themed spots here, with like luggage and stuff like that, because people are taking all their stuff on this ride. In the storyline, you're going to be taking some goods, and you're going to need some stuff while you take your journey. So there's going to be a lot of like luggage and stuff like that, and just supplies to make sure that everyone has everything they need before going on this journey down this raging river. So anyways, a lot of you have given me some ideas on the name of the ride. I want you guys to keep coming in. I actually make the entrance ride sign, but it's not final. Just keep that in mind. So I like hearing your guys' suggestions. They actually are very helpful, and picking an actual name, as of right now, Raging River is just the idea, kind of, and just kind of think along those lines and stuff, and hopefully you can come up with something quite nice. So here comes the exit pathway, going up and over the ride itself, I had some different ideas that would work or try to work out. I first tried going over the roof here, and I was like, that doesn't look good, and it doesn't really look kind of nice. So I decided to go up and over the area over here where the kind of the cave kind of spot that I did for the entrance or the queue line and stuff, and went up and over it and thought that would be kind of cool. So I'm like, well, let me theme it up a little bit and see how well it will look, and it actually ends up looking quite nice. I'm actually very impressed of how it turns out, and I think that's really cool. So I was like, all right, first things first, I gotta give it some nice wooden, rustic, old looking supports, and get rid of the old supports, of course, and that itself made it look a lot better, and I was actually very impressed of how that looks. So that was kind of cool and exciting. And then I definitely wanted to make sure I put like a rustic kind of roof, like the metal roof that you see around this area, and that's how the theme's going to be going throughout this park a lot, at least in this section on the shores, the Westwood shores. So anyways, I love how the storylines that are developing within this park, and I can't wait to see what more comes about these. So this wooden structure works very well for like a covered bridge and stuff like that, so I thought that would actually look really good, and I was right. I actually really think it turned out really nice looking in the end, and it was actually really cool. So I was really impressed. Like, you have no idea how impressed I was with myself how good this exit turned out. I don't know why I liked it so much, mostly because of the roof. I think really just adds more to it and stuff like that, but it looks really good, and I feel like it fits in very nicely, and it's a nice little observation area for the people not riding. They can kind of get a good view of the ride from this kind of observation bridge and stuff like that goes over the ride itself. So I think that's kind of a cool, neat little thing to have as well. And of course, I just get some foliage and rocks and stuff to fill in those areas, and actually turns out looking quite nice and more natural than I was going for. So it looked really good, and I'm really happy of how it actually turned out. I do tend to wander around and try and look at the stuff that I created quite a bit. And if you haven't noticed already, I do stop building and just kind of look around a lot. I do have a bad habit of that, instead of getting a lot of stuff done, and it's just kind of an observation thing. Like, I like to see what my creations look like afterwards, and I'm like, does that look good enough, or is there something I need to change? I was going to add some more buildings throughout this ride, but I was actually very convinced that it looked well without them, or without a ton of buildings around the ride. So I was thinking maybe I'll leave it. Then I wanted to make sure I had like this rock sign for the entrance. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have the sign on the rock, and just it would give a cool effect. And I'm thinking about adding some visual effects as well to this sign and stuff, maybe like some misting and stuff like that, but it doesn't make it into the episode, so that might come later. But for right now, it's just gonna stay the way it is right now. And as you can see, the raging river for right now, and I could change it later on. So I want to make I'm actually planning on putting on some different signs throughout the queue line and stuff that kind of goes with the storyline and stuff like that, like make sure you hold on to all your luggage and loose items, just like stuff like that, or like warning, dangerous river ahead or something like that. Just little cute little signs like that will be actually really neat for the queue line itself, and just go along with the theme, because the queue line definitely needs to be themed. That's a huge thing. And of course, I'm not done with the queue line yet. There's a lot more theming stuff that I do have to add in later on. So just so you know that is not complete before you go, oh, you need to add more theming around the queue line stuff. Just know that it's not finished yet, and there's going to be more added down the line and in the future. So there's still a lot more to go, and I want to make sure everyone does know that. Now, as for triggers, there could be more props and triggers added throughout the ride later on as well. So don't rule that out just yet. That's going to be something that's also going to most likely be added in the near future as well. And a good thing to also make sure of is that the entire park is lit up quite a bit, and you got to make sure you put your all your lamps and lights and stuff down everywhere, and I think that's quite an important thing to do to light up your park, especially when it gets nighttime. You want to make sure that guests are not going to be in the pitch black throughout the entire time of their visit. So I think it's you can use those lights to your advantage as well, because they will look really neat at night as well, and you want to make sure your rides are fun at night. Which will be really cool. One thing I do kind of want to figure out that I haven't actually figured out myself yet, and I've seen other people do, is actually create like a strobe light effect. I don't exactly know how to do that. If you place like multiple lights and just like put a ton of triggers, I don't know if that's how it works, or if there's actually a function where you can make it go on and off quite a few times before it ends. So I don't know how that actually works, and I'm gonna I'll do some tests and figure it out. If not, make sure you comment down below to kind of help me out and see if I can figure if any of you do know. I would appreciate hear what you guys think on how that is done. So thanks. Anyways, moving on, like I said, this will probably be like 3 episodes of just this ride itself, and here we are on the 3rd episode of this ride, and it's actually turned out quite nice. And again, we'll probably move on in the next episode just to get the park moving and get some more of the path layout and stuff like that. Again, there's not going to be a whole lot left to do on this ride. I mean, there's still some minor props and theming that need to go in, that need to be implemented into the ride, of course, and a couple of other, building objects and stuff like that, like adding a couple of windows to details to the station itself. It needs to be added. So this is where I get to kind of the effects and stuff on the ride and stuff, and I wanted to make sure there's a lot of effects in the tunnel and everything. I think I added just a couple here, but again, there's probably going to be more added. More added down the road as of right now. So I wanted to make sure there was like this awesome smoky like entrance to the tunnel, which would be actually really cool. And I went with like the boiling steam or whatever it's called. And I was going to add a little bit more, but I was like, that does the trick quite well, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I do want to probably add it on the other side as well, which I don't get around to. And then I also get around to actually adding some speakers as well to add some music in the tunnel and stuff like that. It was some dark, eerie music, which will be actually really cool, at least I hope. So hopefully that will be awesome. And I want to make sure, as for these, I want to put like some water effects for when you do the triggers. When it comes by, it actually squirts water onto the boats. I think that would be really cool. So I'm acting like there's like a leak coming out of this cart or something, and it's going to like squirt onto the boat and stuff like that. I think I do the same thing with a barrel a couple minutes later. So that's going to be really cool. I act like it's coming out of like the inside of it, which is kind of fun in itself. So. And then I also decided to add some lights to these as well, so when it comes by, the light turns on and then the water squirts out. It's something that's actually kind of neat and kind of cool, I think, so it's a lot of fun. And triggers are just so much fun on rides and stuff. I think it adds a lot of cool stuff and makes the scenery rating of the rides much better, of course. I think guests are more excited to ride the rides if there are more scenery items around, of course, and that's what I want to make sure that a lot of guests are going to come to the park when it opens up, so I can't wait. And the fact that I only have 2 rides right now and that this much detail is going into them is just an amazing feeling. So again, you're going to be seeing a lot more episodes of Westwood, if not like almost every day. As for this series, is going to be the most hot series coming in. Silver Dollar City is going to be the recreation. You're not going to see as many episodes as that than you are Westwood, because I want to make sure I get Westwood done first. Westwood's going to be a series that is going to be, it's a lot easier to do in a way, because it is my own park and I don't have to worry about looking at reference photos and stuff like that, and stuff and everything like that. And I didn't get as many reference photos as SDC as I would hope so for that series, so you'll see quite a few episodes start to come out for it, but don't expect as many as Westwood. So that series, just so everyone knows, that series is not dead. It's just going to be on a slower pace than Westwood here, so because I really want to get Westwood down. quite quickly and try and get as much detailing and get it as going as much as possible, because it's going to take quite a few episodes. I think Westwood's going to is probably the biggest project, custom project that I've ever done before. So I hope everyone will enjoy it, and I think hopefully everyone will, because I'm enjoying it. It seems like everyone loves this park so far. Like, everyone is very excited about this park. No one's more excited than I am, of course, but it's a lot of fun. And as for this last trigger, I wanted to add like the skull with the put the red eyes on the inside, just as a really cool ending. Like, oh, like this place is kind of haunted, or very eerie and stuff like that. Kind of a frightening part of the ride. It is more of a family ride, but there's not like jump scares or anything like in this ride, but it is kind of gets more on the dark side once you get to towards the end of the ride, which is kind of interesting, but you do get through it, and it looks kind of cool. So I decided to trigger these lights as well and put a light on it. What I wanted to do was actually add a strobe light effect at the end here on the skull, but I couldn't figure out how to do a strobe light. And again, if anyone knows how to do that, please comment down below and help me out with that, because I've never actually tried it myself, and I kind of looked around, but I didn't really try it out. I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I wanted to move on to other things for this episode. So that is that, and I think that's pretty much the last thing I really do here at the end, is get those triggers in. And of course, I think it's turning out to be quite nice, and when we come back into the next episode, we most likely might, and I say might, I'm not entirely 100% sure, we might get started on our first roller coaster, if we're lucky. It depends if I decide to put that arrow coaster in or not, and if I do, it will most likely be in the next episode or around there. So anyways, that's about it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe. Comment, like, and subscribe if you want more of Westwood content like this. So anyways, thanks guys so much for watching. Have a great day and even cooler tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.